Hey everybody, it's NoMoreOp4 here. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the new Ruger LC9. Finally got one in today. Real excited about it. Get this out of the way here. Just picked it up today. Going to take it to the range here in a little bit to do a review. All indications so far is that this is going to be a real good gun for Ruger. I have larger hands. Fits very nicely with the magazine extension for your little finger there. 7+1. It's got a loaded chamber indicator, manual safety, driftable sights, real nice. It's a big improvement over Ruger's LCP, which had, if you have any experience with it, pretty shitty sights to be honest. But this is a big improvement on it here. Going to take it to the range and do some accuracy testing and see what it's like. One additional point I did want to go over here, just kind of show you what it comes with. You do get this little case for it. Gun fits nicely in. But price point, because I know that there's been a lot of varying prices on this across the internet and different gun shops, but you can get a real nice deal on it. You can see here what we got it for. Not going to tell you where, but you just have to figure that out on your own. But there are good price points available, so shop around, guys. Just to show you a size comparison of the LC9 to the LCP here, you can see basically just a lot larger version of the gun in 9mm as opposed to the 380.
Takes so much getting used to after the last one.
So back from the range with Ruger's new LC9. All data points to suggest that the gun is very accurate. I was out there with Bone Hunter today, and neither of us are what you would call expert marksmen with a handgun, but we certainly weren't having any trouble. Eating some red there, and mostly 9s. Actually, only one hit the 8 mark, as you can see. So, super accurate gun so far. Didn't have any reliability issues. We did need to. This isn't the first target that we shot. This was at 10 yards, 30 feet. We did get used to the double action of the gun before we shot it, just because I'm used to the action on my gun, and it was a little bit different to adjust to the double action only of the Ruger. But, after giving it that consideration, you can see here that we were still very accurate with the gun. So, as far as for self-defense goes, that is the primary purpose of that gun, or a backup gun, but something that you can conceal due to its size. This is definitely something that I would stake my life on, if that's the purpose that you're looking for. Usually, in a self-defense situation, last statistic I read, most type of shootings that actually happen in a self-defense situation actually happen within 10 feet. This was 3 times that distance. This was at 30 feet. So, when it comes down to put your life on the gun or not, I would say that I would in the case of the Ruger LC9. As far as reliability and everything goes, we shot about 150 rounds through it. Didn't seem to have much of a break-in point because the first round that we shot was actually a 10. Hit the red first shot, so it was accurate out of the box. Didn't perceive any break-in period really. If you are used to shorter trigger pulls like I am due to shooting a lot of large frame pistols, there is a little bit of getting used to the double action, but that's to be expected with a concealed carry gun like that. So that's, just something for you to consider. A lot of people do have to switch up their style a little bit or concentrate a little bit harder with that longer trigger pull, because obviously that will affect accuracy. But reliability wise, the gun performed flawlessly, no failure to fires, no failure to ejects, anything like that. Obviously you got to keep the gun clean. We were shooting not crap ammo, but cheaper Remington UMC. You can get a little bit of buildup around the internal parts of the gun when you shoot that kind of stuff. Just be cautious of that. Obviously, with any new gun, you want to clean it, or at least I clean it every couple mags, just to get everything working smoothly. You don't want to start off on the wrong foot there, get some buildup in the gun, and end up having any sort of issue. But none to speak of that we had. Obviously over the course of time will be the real determination of the reliability of the gun, but everything's looking good so far. So, Ruger LC9. Just wanted to give a little size comparison of the LC9 in comparison. Got some other guns on the table here. Car PM9, XD45 ACP, and a Beretta 92 FS. Just so you can get an idea of what the sizes of the Ruger. Going to compare it to something pretty familiar to most people, the Car PM9. Let me put the slide forward here for you. So you can see about the same size. Car's a little bit smaller in profile, but certainly a manageable size for a concealed carry weapon. You can see that there. It's narrow too. It's a big improvement on, just comparing to other Ruger guns, because it is a single stack, a lot narrower obviously than something like the SR9 that Ruger has. And you're going to have that with any single stack gun. They always are going to be narrower, obviously, because the magazine is a lot narrower. You can see here it does limit your capacity, but for a concealed carry purpose, that is what you're looking for. So just compared to some other guns here, but a lot more manageable to conceal. So I did want to go over the specs here for you. I'm just looking at Ruger's little documentation that they give you. You can find this on the website. Barrel length 3.12 inches, width 0.9 inches. We did discuss this earlier. It was a very nice width. Weight 17.1 ounces. Now this is a little bit heavier than some of the other subcompact options out there, such as the Car PM9, which we did discuss and did show. That is about 14 ounces. Magazine weighs about 1.9 if my memory serves me correctly. Another gun comparable to purpose is the Kel-Tec PF9, another concealed carry gun. That gun is 12.7 ounces. That's definitely one of the lighter options out there, but still 17.1 ounce, not a big deal. Still definitely a very manageable weight. Capacity 7+1, twist 1 to 10, right hand 6 grooves. Length overall 6 inches, height overall 4.5. So again, a small gun, very easy to conceal in a pocket holster or something like that. And for you law enforcement out there, definitely an option as a backup gun on the ankle even. So something to consider there. Going over some of the actual ergonomic features of the gun, the sights were very nice. I usually am concerned with sights on such a small framed gun. It can be difficult to shoot a gun with such a small barrel length because you have a lot less space or length, I should say, to line up a sight picture with as far as the sights go. But with the sights that were on the Ruger, I was very pleased. after we did get accommodated to the double action, which does take getting used to if you're like me and you're used to single action handguns. It can be difficult. Obviously, you need to practice with that, especially if it's going to be a self-defense gun. You don't want the first time you shot it to be when you need to defend your life with it. That's for sure. But the sights were very nice. I'm not an expert handgun shooter by any means. Neither is Bone Hunter. He was with me, and he actually did a majority of the shooting. He's actually relatively new to the world of handguns. He's been hunting and shooting rifles and shotguns for most of his life, though, so he's definitely versed in guns in general, but he's relatively new to handguns. But after getting used to the trigger pull and just acclimating himself to the gun in general, he was very, very accurate with it, and you saw that in the target that I reviewed earlier. So it's definitely a very manageable gun. Again, getting back to the trigger pull, obviously it's a double action gun. It's like that for a purpose, because if you're using this gun in a concealed carry type of dimension, obviously you don't want to accidentally pull the trigger before you're ready to. It is a very smooth trigger pull, though. There was a very what's the word I should use here? There was a very crisp pull. It was very easy to tell where the breaking point was. You can feel it once you got used to it. After you shot a couple mags, you could kind of tell where that breaking point was. Where if you pull back any farther, that the gun is going to fire. So that was good, because you want to get used to and comfortable with that point, so that you're comfortable with it, and once you do familiarize yourself with that, you can get a lot tighter groups, and that's something we did see out at the range. Once we did get used to the trigger pull, we were a lot more successful with shooting tighter groups. As far as the overall ergonomics of the gun go, you can see the glass-filled nylon description there for the frame. Even though it was a colder day, it was about 25 degrees, we were still having very good grip on the gun. Our hands were sweating, even though it was as cold as it was, because we were shooting for so long. But we didn't have any issues holding onto the gun whatsoever. So it was a nice grip. Fit well in my hand. Again, I do have larger hands, but if you have smaller hands, there were some other people in the range that held it. They were all very pleased with it. Some of them did have smaller hands, so that's something for you guys to consider. Don't think that it's going to be unmanageable for you. If you do have smaller hands, it will still fit nicely. Obviously, you're going to want to pick one up at the store first if you can. Just to see how it feels, because not every gun's right for everyone. But last thing I really want to talk about, well, one more thing before we get to the price. You can get a laser for this gun. Crimson Trace has a laser guard for this gun. Definitely something to consider. That will also help with accuracy. That'll probably be something we get in the near future for this gun. Last thing I wanted to talk about, suggested retail price, you see there, $443. As I showed you earlier, we got it for a little bit cheaper than that. We were actually out the door. It was $400 and some change on the nose. So you can find cheaper prices out there. They are going fast. We happen to get lucky, and we managed to swipe one up before anyone else got to it. But shop around, talk to your local gun dealers that you frequent, and I'm sure they can at least get one in for you in the near future. So just keep your eyes out for that. But this is the Ruger LC9. All indications are that it's going to be a great gun for anyone looking for a concealed carry weapon. If you are looking for one in the 9mm caliber, this is definitely something that I suggest you check out. This is NoMoreOp4. I'm out of here, guys. Take care.